Hey guys, welcome back to the Shaping Your Road podcast. Again, I'm Jackson,
I'm Jimmy.
and first episode was great. Miss Bowman, wonderful. I'm pretty sure we could all agree. Um, so yeah, but today we're gonna be talking about how to find our individual selves and what it truly means. So today we're gonna be talking with Coach Hammond. Come on in, come on in, come on in,
Hey,
Coach. Come on in, Coach. Yes,
thank you.
sir. Yes, sir.
Thank
Hey.
you, Jimmy.
So we're just gonna kind of dive right into it. Keep it simple. So like in your position, how do kids our age typically find who we are? Like, what do you see?
Obviously, since I'm a disciplinarian, obviously, you guys, I see it through mistakes. I think we all make mistakes in life. I think the important thing is that we learn from our mistakes and don't continue to make the same mistakes.
For sure.
So obviously, being in the role of a disciplinarian, probably the place I see the most growth is after young men make mistakes, learn from it, and then try to correct it.
Yeah. I mean, learning mistakes always builds to be better. You got to make mistakes to be better, I feel like, in life.
I don't think there's losses in life. There's wins in learning. I think if you look at losses as a negative, um, then you can beat yourself down. Everyone has had failures in their life at different times, and how you approach those failures and how you try to turn them into a learning situation to make yourself better, I think is the difference between people that are successful and people who aren't.
I've had coaches in the past say what he did. Like, he doesn't like to use the word losers because then it just turns into a spiraling down situation whenever it should be a jumping up.
Yeah.
So I know you say it a lot, but we all, like, we don't talk down on people, we talk up.
Try
So,
to, yeah.
for sure. Like, what influences you to make people better?
I think my biggest influences were the mentors in my life, which was my high school basketball coach, my college basketball coach, my father. I mean, I think the people that helped me get to where I'm at is the reason why I try to put a hand out towards young men to try to help them become better people. Um, it's always been a passion of mine. It's why I got into coaching when I was way back getting into college coaching was always to help students. I just do it in a different way now.
Was there any like big turning point in your life that like made you realize, oh, this is what learning is. This is what made me who I am.
Been lots of mistakes I've made in my life that, like I said, that I've learned from. Um, I think the biggest thing, there was a book, Viktor Frankl wrote a book called A Man's Search for Meaning. And that book, I read that my sophomore year in college, and it had a huge influence on me. I still have the book. It's got 9 or 10 different highlighter colors in it now because I've gone back and read it several times. But the book talks about how once you have a purpose in life, once you find a purpose in life, then you can get through anything. And I'd recommend anyone to look into that book. It's a great book. But yeah, it was probably my sophomore year in college. I took a psychology class and had a really good teacher who got me thinking about what I wanted to be and what I wanted to do.
So, there's always something that causes a mistake. Mistakes don't just happen. So, in your life, what do you regret influencing you to make those mistakes?
I, I'm overly competitive. So it's what's funny is the things that make you successful in life are also the things that get in your way. So a lot of my successes in life have come because I'm a really competitive person. I try to win at everything. That's also gotten in the way. It's cost me relationships because I've been overly competitive in situations. It's cost me both professionally as well as personally, and so I've got to learn to harness that. Again, I think all of us have these wonderful blessings, but sometimes our blessings can be our own curses as well if we don't learn to harness them.
I know for me at least, it's always there's a happy medium somewhere. Like there's doing too much and getting a really big consequence, or trying something new and then failing at it instead of being in trouble. It's more of that failure that can connect us to a bigger success.
I would tell guys your age, take as many chances as you can.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, don't be afraid. Yeah, there's no failure. There's winning and then there's learning. So if you try something and it doesn't work out, Edison didn't invent the light bulb in his first try. It was like his 500th try. He failed a bunch.
Yeah.
And each time you fail, you learn something. And I think too often you're afraid of failure. And because you're afraid of failure, you don't put yourself out there. And what you're really missing out on are some great learning opportunities, even if they don't work out perfectly. Yeah, I walked on the basketball team the first time I didn't make the travel team. Like I sat at home. People said I wasn't even on the team. Like they'd go on a road trip and I'd still be on campus. But it was the best thing I ever did. 3 years later, I got a national championship ring. Like it was worth it, but it wasn't. It didn't feel worth it that first year. So sometimes you got to just put yourself out there, and it doesn't always work out.
the way our age relates to that, I guess what you're trying to say is minor setback, major comeback.
Yeah.
So
Well, and I'll tell you what, if you always put your best effort out there, it doesn't guarantee success. But if you never put your best effort out there, it guarantees failure.
it won't guarantee it, but it can help find it.
I would agree with that. That's good. That's well said.
So, what was some advice for all of us here? Like even the dudes back there helping up behind the scenes.
Oh, the best piece of advice. Life's about relationships. It really is. That when it gets to the end, really what's left is the relationships that you have with people. Have 4 quarters for friends instead of 100 pennies. I think that's one of the best lessons I've ever learned. Some people have 100 pennies for friends. I'm more of a 4 quarters guy.
Yeah.
Have those few friends that are really important to you. Have the family that's really important to you, and focus on relationships. Because again, in the end, that's what's there. You'll change jobs 4 or 5 times. You'll change hobbies 4 or 5 times throughout your life. But the people that are still with me are my mom, my dad, my sisters, my friends that have been with me the whole way.
That's what I feel like here is a great place because it's small enough to where you can have those 4 quarters and you can build those relationships. Like even you, I'm sure that you have relationships with some students that you wouldn't expect to happen anywhere else.
That's probably the most rewarding thing about being at DeSales.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone works here for the money. Yeah. Everyone is here because of the relationships that we get to have. And yeah, there's nothing better than seeing guys come back. That's my paycheck. My paycheck is when guys come back 5, 10, 15, 20 years later. I've been here 20 years. And if they're a good dad and if they're a good son and they're doing well, that's my paycheck. That's my emotional paycheck. When I see guys way later in life and they're really doing well, that means the world to me.
Yeah, I'd like to say here at DeSales, just because we're so small, but we all know each other so good, we could have 70 quarters as friends.
You really could. This is a unique environment. You guys probably don't realize how good you have it because this is all you know for high school. And I've seen a lot of high schools. What we have here is absolutely something that's special. And you guys do. You guys do have a very tight brotherhood.
I love about it. Well, thanks for coming on today.
Absolutely. Yeah. Thank you for having me.
Let's give a round of applause for Coach Hammond.
Good luck with your podcast.
Okay, guys, I just want to give a big thanks to Coach Hammond and Miss Bowman for coming out here. We're going to have one more mystery guest for you all. Can't say who it is yet, but you guys will find out.
One day.
So how's it been for you?
It's been amazing for me, to be honest with you. I feel like just these 2 guests that we've already had on here, they've been great, right? As we could all agree. I feel like I've already built a relationship with them that I haven't had before because it just allowed me to go deeper with them and figure out what's going on. What about you?
I hope that people are really listening because this is some great advice that you won't get many other places. So I just hope that you guys are truly listening to this. It will really help you in life.
And maybe that book Coach Hammond recommended could actually work. We might give it out, maybe. I don't think we will. But if it's available, go get it. I'm pretty sure all these guys back here behind the scenes, they're with you all. They're on your all side if y'all need them. And us too, we're right here. So.
Okay, well, I think that's about it for this episode.
Shaping Your Own Podcast.